uglies.
Hey, Amber.
Hello, honey. Welcome to my shit show.
So we are back with another Dragula recap, I guess. It's not really a react, because that's heavily copyrighted material. So, on last week's episode, JK was seemingly eliminated, and our first winner of the season is Neoharu. Satana and JK were in the bottom. I knew that, I just felt like, I don't know, because True T, if you guys know, there were supposed to be 12 contestants. So when I first saw on the first episode that there were only 11 monsters there, I knew something was up. Filming had already gone on for a long time, but there was a rumor that a queen had missed the flight 2 times to go to Dragula. So there was supposed to be a 12th queen. There's also kind of a little callback to that in another episode with Rob. I think it's the Ghost Hotel. So I figured, like, they can't send someone home on the first episode if someone already didn't show up. JK is eliminated. And in, like, the Boulet's little intro, there's a very, like, explicit reference to Chucky, like, drawing up the pentagram and chanting, like, the Chucky chant or whatever, you know? Enter into the laboratory. Laboratory. I just spelled it wrong.
It's a laboratory, short for laboratories. That's where they build monsters in the laboratories, darling.
They start off basically just like recapping their critiques and like how they're gonna apply it to the next challenge, you know, the blah blah blah. Neo now feels like she has a huge target on her back, and she definitely does, because like the other monsters said, she set the bar extremely high for them. So this is going to be like interesting to see if she can like live up to it now, you know, because there's kind of like a bit of a Dragula curse that if you win the first episode you go home on the next episode. It's not the case for everyone. I think it only happened like once or twice. But so everyone basically says, they're asking like who they thought went home. Literally everyone raises their hand that JK went home. It very quickly turns into everyone's just like reading each other again, and while it's good TV, I won't argue that, it's just like, ladies, can't we act a little better? Like god damn. But then Satana enters the room. Everyone is super happy, cheering, hugging her. And I don't know why JK was labeled the shady one when, like, I mean, Anna even says that Satana is a bitch and she's not excited that she's back. I was like, real. So she's just like recapping the extermination and how it was. And she is real confident, real full of herself. Like, I don't think anyone else could do that. And it's like, girl, chill out. It was bungee jumping, okay? Not that big of a deal. And realistically, if you think about it, the Boulets aren't going to do anything. Because also, True T, they do all of the like exterminations also. So they aren't putting the contestants through anything that they themselves aren't doing too. You know what I mean? So like, you know you're not gonna like die. That's all I care about. Or you know you're not gonna break a bone or get like seriously fucked up. But then sirens start blaring. It's very reminiscent of Drag Race when they get called over to the TV and then the Boulets pop up. Little like detail to remember for later. After each extermination, the Boulets, when they pop up in the message for like that week's challenge, they get progressively bloodier. After JK's elimination, there's still no blood on them. So, I mean, it's still early in the season, so we wouldn't have known that when it first came out, but that was like a signal that first week was, they are introducing the filth challenge. And this is the first time that they've explicitly done a filth related challenge, which I like it. I'm glad that like they're showing the filth aspect a little bit more. Because usually it's just kind of like relied on that the contestants will bring some aspect of filth to it. But not a lot do. And not a lot of like true filth. Like the last true filth I really remember was bitch pudding. Everyone after that, it just seems so like fake. When they try to go for the gross out aspect. Dolly did filth in a much more artistic, more tasteful way, I would say. I'm not saying that like drinking mop water isn't tasteful. I'm sure it's very tasteful. It's just two different sides of the same coin, kind of. The challenge this week is trash can children, based off of Garbage Pail Kids, I think. The like trading cards and figures from the 80s. So it's like inspired by that. So they have to create looks based around filth orientated characters and like create a character essentially. So the fright feat this week, and if you don't do any of the fright feats, like you will be exterminated. They'll eliminate you right there on the spot. So like you kind of have to do all of them. Or as long as you're in the competition, you have to do them. But this week they have to drink a garbage smoothie, and it has eels, chitlins. If y'all don't know what those are, go look it up. Organs, like bunch of different organs. Trash juice, like literal juice from the bottom of a dumpster. Disgusting. I'm sure there's a bunch of other nasty shit in there too. If you win the fright feat, you drink your mug the fastest. You get to curse someone with the curse of the Teletubby toilet bowl. Now I know that sounds very ridiculous for a show like Dragula. It's a callback to the Titans season when Kendra Onyx said to Yovska that she looked like a Teletubby toilet bowl. So it's just a callback. There is a Titans season, which is just like a All-Stars. It's really good. It's just as shady. The artistry is just as great. If you guys would like, we can do that one too. I would be way more apt to like go back and review older seasons of Dragula than like Drag Race, because Drag Race there's just so much. There's so much happening, and there are whole entire channels devoted to that shit. I just want to talk my shit, be shady, and maybe put you guys onto a good show. The Curse of the Teletubby Toilet Bowl, they basically have to get ready in a porta potty, like a dirty porta potty. I would fucking hate it. From what they show, it's used. It is a used porta potty. Dirty, like they made it extra dirty in there, dude. This fucking show. And then the Boulets made like some corny ass trash can joke. Like, remember, it's a trash can, not a trash cannot. Like, that's so like 2015. That's the Big Boulet. I know they've said on their podcast they don't like being called the Big and Little Boulet. I know it's Dragmorta and Swanthula. Big Boulet, Little Boulet. You know who I'm talking about. Israel, the super hot like hunk daddy that hands out all the shit. He comes out and brings all the girls their big steins of garbage juice. It looks fucking disgusting. It looks disgusting. It looks dry, wet, slimy, and chunky. And the way that the contestants describe it, ugh. But he also sets down an extra glass in the middle. And Cynthia, love you girl, but stupid fucking speculation. She was like, oh my god, like, the winner is gonna have to drink an extra glass. JK pops out around the corner and, oh honey, face cracks. Everyone is noticeably like set back. Satana's fucking pissed. She's fucking pissed. And she's just kind of like going off in the confessionals. I don't know. Once again, she seems young. I don't know why so many of these contestants feel so like compelled. I know like they're prompted to give their opinions and whatnot, but like you can do that without being shady, even if you're upset. Like, dog, I don't know, it gives me the ick when like people are like, I don't think they should be in the competition, I think they made the wrong choice. Like, how do you think you even have like the right to say that? You're in the same competition they are. Like, oh my god. And you were in the bottom too, girl. Bye. Everyone's just like kind of doing too much, being very like standoffish with JK, and I think just like very rude in general. Like, I understand it prolongs the competition a bit, but like, girl, you were going to be there anyways. Cynthia fucking says the most iconic line. Well, I guess Amazon is living up to its return policy. Fucking incredible, dude. She cracks me up so much. Like, I mean, I've already said spoilers. She does get eliminated at some point. But, listen, they should have kept her on just as the narrator for the season. Like, just had her in the background so she knows everything that's going on. And she just narrates it all. That would be iconic. I'm also just kind of realizing now this ain't really... I'm having an Amber Lynn moment with the lighting, you guys. I thought it would be a little bit better. Let me try turning this light on. Oh, this video is going to be so inconsistent. Also, I know it looks very empty back there. There are, like, it's a diptych that goes on either side of the mirror in the process of being varnished upstairs. So, I don't want to hear nothing about it. That's a bit better. With that, the Fright Feet begins. With all their bitchiness aside, the Fright Feet begins. Anna describes it as proper chunky. Remember, she's the one from the United Kingdom. That is both extremely hilarious and absolutely fucking vile. All at the same time. She also says, like, while she's drinking it, you can hear her gargle out, "Why is it fizzy?" Honestly, I feel like I could do it if I was like away from everyone else, because it's the symphony of gagging from everyone else that fucking does me in, dude. Oh my god, everyone is just like, I can't, or I'm gonna like make myself sick. And sure shit, JK wins the Fright Feet, which, like, good for them. Good for them. You know what? They did that. And they're like going down the line trying to pick who like it's gonna be and whatnot. They choose Cynthia for the Teletubby toilet bowl. And while I understand it was entirely a personal choice, it wasn't strategic in any way. I feel like you kind of should have known that Orgotic was going to be the one to like really go hard at this fucking challenge. Granted, he doesn't actually win, but it could have shifted, you know, the outcome a little bit. Jarvis does go after Orgotic later, and I think that it was smart. Even though I don't want Orgotic to go, I think they should win. Like, it's smart. It's smart, right? So the monsters are all working on their looks. They go to Neo, and she's talking about doing like a spider character, and she's talking about how she 3D prints a lot of her stuff, and she's got like a bunch of prosthetics. I'm not going to be able to show most of her runway performance because, I mean, you'll see. I'll put in a photo, but like, please don't flag me for anything. It's not going to be super zoomed in or nothing, and it's not going to be of like the later performance where she's fingering and pulling things out of herself. It's iconic, but like, I can't show that on YouTube. Are you kidding? I mean, the Boulets put it on their channel, but like, I feel like that's so iffy. So iffy. Even though it's prosthetics, I feel like it's iffy. Cynthia and Blackberry are talking about JK, like, in the room with everyone else. And of course, JK can hear everything. They say why they chose Cynthia, and it starts like this little back and forth of basically they're both calling each other loudmouths, and it's like, you both are. Like, why are you both so offended by that statement? You know, they leave and then come back the next day for floor show day. Cynthia is sent to the toilet as she gets literal shit on her. I just know she was fucking pissed. She was pissed. She had to do all of her makeup in there. She had to get dressed in there, do her hair in there. Like, dog. I know. She was feeling extra cracked for this performance after having to do all that. That'll make sense in a bit too. So the Boulets look so fucking good with like their huge, like, I don't know what you would even call that, like coiffed hair, like up. I don't even know. It's like, honestly, I could see them wearing that for the Drag Monsters of Rock challenge. They decided to wear it this week, which, okay. But it looked so good. The nails were so good. I love, like, those slip-on, like, big dramatic nail pieces. Makes it so much easier, and they just look so fucking sick. So they come in, introduce the challenge, and they're introducing the guest judges. And I know he's worked with the Boulets before, so, like, it wasn't a major shock, but they got Matthew Lillard. Oh, I love him so much. Love him so much. He was just, like, so adorable. The entire judgment. Like, you could tell he was just so genuinely happy to be there. And he's such a, like, I don't know. Maybe he isn't as big of a, like, mega star as I think he really is. But I think he's, like, he's a huge deal. So, like, and I just know, like, he's genuinely a really sweet person. He was just so happy to be there. It was so great to see. And then Landon Sider was also a guest judge there, the season 3 winner, a drag king. First and only so far. So, who knows? Who knows? Maybe Throb. Maybe Throb. He's been doing kind of well in the past few weeks. I think it's Orgotics. But Landon looks so fucking good, as always. Like, his paint is always so crisp and clean. His looks are always so well thought out and put together. He's just so great. And he was there to really help the other monsters. He just went in with laser focus on all the minute details that would possibly enhance something, you know, because like most of the monsters on that stage, like, you have to get nitpicky because that's how good the artistry is, you know what I mean? It's like the first season is like already an all-stars cast kind of thing. So we'll get right into the looks. Blackberry comes in. I think off the bat, just looking at it, it looks nice. It looks gross and whatnot. But her, like, filth performance, I didn't necessarily understand it, I'll be honest with you. Because, like, I don't think, one, just puking up, like, a colored substance, that's not filthy to me. And not even, like, real puking. Like, it was just, like, she held it in her mouth the whole time and then it out. Like, that's so, And she was popping, like, the zits and boils and stuff on her. That's kind of been done before, though. So, and, like, I don't know, maybe, like, eat the pus, something. I know that's gross, but, like, it's a filth challenge. Like, do something, girl. Orgotic comes out, fucking disgusting. So it's beautiful, you know? He described his look as hemorrhoids. Which, like, come on, you just have to see the funny in it. It's so ridiculous. Like, when they're squeezing their hemorrhoid-shaped face and, like, poop comes out. Oh, my God. And to be doing all that in front of Matthew Lillard, dude, I would feel so, like, that poor man, because Landon's at least fucking used to it. Next is JK. I liked the concept, like the one big buff arm from jacking off all the time. But it was a messy kind of execution, and the other queens read her for that. Like, that fucking arm is fucking ridiculous. That's literally, like, what someone says to her. Very messy, winky face. I noticed, though, the similarities between JK's and Jarvis's. Mostly just, like, in the performance aspect. I mean, they were going around literally jerking off to a magazine and then on their own face. All, like, fake. Not real. Would have been a lot better. Real filth. That's the thing that gets me. If like queens are gonna do filth, they should do real filth, in my opinion. Whatever. Next up is Onyx, and it's alright. Like the Boulay said, it's a little too on the nose. Like, it looks exactly like a character that you would have seen on those cards back in the day. So, and like, I watched these episodes a lot. I rewatched them a lot. So it wasn't until this last time watching to take these notes that I noticed she actually pulls one of her teeth out. It's fake also, I believe, but I mean, it's gotta be. But like, you know what I mean? I didn't think that was filth enough, I guess. It was cool, but easily missed, like, with the lineup of other characters that were there. Up next is Throb. So adorable. He looked so adorable. Like, you just want to, like, pinch his cheeks. Like, cynically sweet and bloody disgusting. And just, like, so well put together. Like, I bet Landon got so, like, filled with joy to see a drag king doing that well on the stage, you know, because Throb is extremely put together. They could maybe use some editing here or there later on, but so good. It was just great to see, and Throb really appreciated like getting to hear from Landon and whatnot. Anaphylactic, the performance and look was choppy. I know the Boulay said that like she came out with a tray of like sauces and stuff or condiments, and it never really went anywhere. She could have been spraying that like all over herself or something, like getting really nasty with it. Make a fucking mess, girl. And then like as the performance went on, it just kind of started to fall apart. Like, she was wearing a fake skin the whole time, and it was supposed to like be peeled off, but it fell off and the wig fell off. So it was just a little messy, but cool concept, I guess. Fantasia comes out. It's not necessarily anything original. We've seen a ton of plastic surgery looks in the past. I would say, though, this one's probably the scariest we've seen. The eyes. Her eyes and just like that, like, look. That was creepy. And I think it spoke to her directly, too. Like, if Fantasia herself was one of these cards, you know? So I do think it was successful, even though it wasn't necessarily an original concept. I think it was executed really well, and that's not going to be the case all of the time for me and Fantasia. I think they kept her on a little too long, and it made me grow a little distasteful towards like her looks, at least. We'll get to that later on. Right now she's killing it. Next is Cynthia. I think if there was any challenge for her to be put into that porta potty, it was this one, because I think it lended itself to the look a bit. She was basically like a crackhead. Like, she had her like bedazzled, blinged out. She had a blinged out crack pipe. And the bottom even had black crystals on it. Just that attention to detail, it fucking made me cackle. But she's like a cracked out Mary, and her performance was her smoking. We'll get to it a little bit in the judgments, but like, they thought it was maybe a little bit too real. Matthew Lillard was really creeped out by it. I think that's Dragula, baby. That's Dragula. And I would say, looking at Cynthia, she clearly has a little bit of personal experience with this. So, like, I guess if anyone is to do a look about it, you know. No one gave Priscilla any shit when she did her finale glamour look, was literally vomiting up pills down the front of her. It was iconic and gorgeous. I'm not saying it was a bad thing, but, like, no one gave her shit for that. So, I don't necessarily know why they gave Cynthia so much shit. That's kind of what the show is all about, if we're really being honest. And like, they make fucking cracked out jokes all the time. Jarvis comes out next, and he's like this horny little ghost with like shit, piss, and cum stains all over it. It's disgusting and funny. But he's like walking around with like a Play Dead magazine, I think what was on it. And it's just got like stupid ghost references for like Playboy stuff. And he's jerking off to that. And then he also, you know, on his own face. Delightfully disturbed. The next monster is Neohuru, and it is so over the top. I don't necessarily know if it could be categorized quite as filth. I would say it was definitely more horror. True cheat tea, what makes a vagina disgusting? Like, okay, girl. In that aspect, I didn't necessarily understand it, but it was a great look. Great look. Loved the performance. That's all I really have to say. And then the last monster is Satana. It was definitely scarier than the last one, but let me tell you what, I was not very impressed by it. The prosthetics were choppy. Couldn't even tell that it was fucking her. And I think that instantly makes for like a chop. Like, if you can't tell who the person is, I think it's just a miss. Because like, outside of it actually looking like her, nothing else said Satana about it, you know? We get to the judgments. It's just the Boulets deliberating at first. They loved this challenge, absolutely loved it, and I agree. I hope they do more filth challenges in like future seasons. They do think that JK, their ideas don't necessarily match their execution. Like, the ideas are there, but the execution sometimes is a little bit wonky. But they also recognize that, like, that's what Dragula is, you know? They think Fantasia is playing it safe a bit. And, like, yeah, I agree. They still think it was a great look, but they do believe that she is playing it safe. And they are not happy with Anna or Onyx. And I don't know. I think Onyx's biggest, like, they've really been harping on her that, like, they don't know who she is, like, as a drag artist. And that just seems so, like, ewy. But she was more concerned with showing how versatile she is rather than who she is. You know what I mean? So the safe queens this week are Satana, Blackberry, Fantasia, Jarvis, and JK. JK is so happy, and you know what? Good for them. I want to see them carry it on. The high monsters of the week are Neo, Orgotic, and Throb. And the low is Anna, Cynthia, and Onyx. I don't necessarily think Cynthia should have been there, but I don't know. I think it was more like plot based that they put her down there because like she was in the porta potty. But like I said, if it was to be any look that had to be done in the porta potty, I think this one lent itself most to it. You know what I mean? Because she looked cracked out. And that's what she needed to do. So, but Throb is announced as the winner. He definitely deserved it. I think it was relatively clear that it was between Throb and Orc. It was just so good, so clean, and yet so filthy at the same time, you know? And Cynthia and Onyx are the bottom two, so they're going to be doing the Fright Feet, or the Extermination Challenge. So the bottom two have to transport worms and maggots, like live ones, with their mouths and put it into a container, and whoever's weighs the most wins. To be honest, this seems like a really easy one. I would be so for real with you. Other than the fact that, like, Cynthia did say that they were biting her. Ew. But I could do that shit. So yeah, with that, everyone goes into the cauldron. And everyone, dude, everyone is ragging on JK, who is safe. Like, why? I don't understand. And it seems very much like dogpiling. Like, they are relentlessly going in on JK when they weren't even saying anything, you know? And so JK, like, speaks up and, like, tries to defend himself a bit. And everyone just seems to get more pissed off that they're trying to defend themselves. I don't understand it. It seems very icky to me that's how people are acting. Very immature, spineless, I would even say, because I don't know why JK's name is even in the conversation, especially because they asked who do they think is going home, and instead of just fucking manning up and saying if they thought Cynthia or Onyx, the people that were up for extermination are going to go home, they decided to all say, well, I thought JK would be up for extermination. Well, that's not the fucking... Oh my god, it pissed me off. It really pissed me off. It seems like it's giving high school. It really is. And then Throb, I understood, and they redeemed it a little bit in my eyes later on, because you could tell that, like, I think Throb was coming from a well-intentioned place. But they basically, like, while a room of their peers is attacking them, basically says to JK, just stop talking. Like, just stop talking. Do you know how fucked up that is? It's so gross. It's so gross. I would never tell someone to just stop talking when they're defending themselves, like, against opinions that, honestly, I don't think are valid. I just don't understand why, like, Throb says that they wish JK could own their shit. And it's like, I see JK taking more accountability for, like, the shady things they say than the other people who they say something shady to JK, they jokingly say it back, and then the other person gets pissed off. Like, how does that make any fucking sense? And, like, not to bring it to there, but, like, it seems to be a lot of white queens coming after queens of color, and that's all I'm going to say about that. And yeah, like I said, the challenge looked easy, I'll be honest with you. Cynthia used that big mouth to win, and she gets to live on to die another week. Onyx is eliminated. Their death scene is super cool, though. They had, like, custom... So, like, a while back, last season, they did a puppets, like, kind of challenge, I think. Or it was, like, a clown challenge. And they had some puppets of the Boulet brothers. Well, they had some puppets made of Throb, Orc, and Neo, the top three. And those puppets killed Onyx, like, biting into her neck and crazy shit. They looked so delightfully adorable. But yeah, so that was episode 2 of the Boulet Brothers Dragula. The very next episode, Ghosts of the Gatehouse, and it is their haunted hotel. And they will have to perform a lip sync, I believe, in this episode. So come back to see my opinions on that one, I guess. But thank you guys for watching. I know not too many people on this channel really know about Dragula or anything like that. But I feel like, just from the comments that I get from some people, that, like, it could be a nice introduction to some of you guys. Because I know, like, a bunch of people do enjoy horror and whatnot. Hey, it's something, alright? I gotta have something else to talk about than just Amber Lynn, or else I'll go fucking crazy. But yeah, thank you so much, guys, for watching. Like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And I will catch you in the next episode for Ghosts of the Gatehouse.